Hey guys, time for TechNewsDay.
In news that's sure to make many parents of teenagers' lives an even worse living hell than before, now when they yell at their kid to finish up their 8-hour Fortnite session to go do chores or maybe just go outdoors, that kid can now reply that, actually mom, I'm preparing for college. Because Ashland University in Ohio announced last week that they're the first school offering esports scholarships to Fortnite players. You never went to college.
Despite the fact that there isn't an actual esport based around Fortnite yet, they are looking way deep into the future, and good for them, you know?
College of the future right there, guys.
So yeah, college esports, it's not really a new thing, actually. The National Association of Collegiate Esports started back in 2016 and now has over 60 schools as members. So if you're of the opinion that esports aren't real sports, that ship has sailed, old man. They even one of the first big ones I saw was Heroes of the Dorm. With
I remember that.
MOBA, and
they sold out the Staples Center.
Hey kid, stop learning how to cure cancer and come play some games.
Put that ball down, sport nerd.
So on Ashland University's website, if you hover your mouse over the sports tab, esports is listed there right between cross country and football. Sorry Dad and sorry Chad, but the dorks get to walk around campus in hideous jackets now too.
So what is notable here though is that while Ashland already offers typical esports titles like League of Legends, Overwatch, CSGO, and Rocket League, Fortnite's absolutely massive right now. Also, not even really officially an esport yet.
Yeah.
Epic Games isn't super forthcoming about its user database, but most estimates put Fortnite's player base around 45 million, with between 3 and 4 million people playing concurrently at any given time.
Yeah.
That's probably even higher at this point, but that's more than Overwatch. It's nowhere near League of Legends, but the Fortnite player base is still rapidly growing, and its availability across multiple platforms, along with its popularity on Twitch right now, make it a no-brainer for esports, and by extension, college esports.
I needed a new pennant for Ashland University.
Go I don't know what their mascot is.
Ashland Meteors, because it hasn't hit Tilted Towers yet. One day though. Ashland University, it isn't offering any full ride scholarships for Fortnite though. They'll only cover $4,000 out of their typical tuition of $30,000 a year.
USA.
Which isn't nothing, but it's also still not enough to justify attending unless you actually want an education. Boo! Hopefully, you'll get that education in something you can still do after you injure your pinky halfway through the league championship and watch your pro Fortnite dreams fade away.
Man, I was so good back then.
At least you won't get a case of the CTE.
That's true. That's true, yeah.
There you go.
You might get a leg cramp.
Esports is going to solve a problem that regular sports didn't even see coming because they had brain injuries.
Yeah.
The fact that regular sports have been found to be, as they were previously known to be obviously very dangerous, have found to have lasting effects besides broken bones that are very, very bad. Here comes esports. What are you gonna get, carpal tunnel?
It's gonna be a bunch of old men in 50 years who's like
hands are jittery.
Their pointer
I
finger.
got the Twitch finger.
Yeah, Twitch finger. The knuckles are all big and fucked up.
Yeah, but at least it's not like a boxer where you got cauliflower ear and CTE.
Yeah, that shit's gross.
You're gonna have cauliflower hand. My hand's gonna look like Rocky Dennis. They call him the Claw. That's how I grip my mouse now, because my bone's all hardened up.
Anyway, speaking of gaming, because apparently this isn't Tech News Day, it's Tugs News Day. Whoops. The Nintendo Switch only came out a little over a year ago, and hackers have already figured out a way to jailbreak it and make it run on unauthorized apps and games, and even just run it as like a shitty Linux tablet if you wanted that for some reason.
But why do you need to watch porn on your Switch? Galgun just came out.
It's true. And guess what? There's not a damn thing Nintendo can do about this, because this hack is hardware-based and therefore unpatchable.
Whoops. Recall all the Switches. So how this works involves aspects of technology we are in no way qualified to explain, so bear with us. But the vulnerability, which was discovered almost simultaneously by hardware hacker Catherine Temkin and console hacking group Fail Overflow, cool name, involves the NVIDIA Tegra X1 processor that powers the Switch. Actually, let's just let this article from Ars Technica explain it, because they're way smarter than us and have people who work on their team that actually know things. Our team is this.
Phone calls, that's what we do.
Hold on, we're very busy.
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
Scam Likely. Scam Likely, he's always hitting me up with
Scam Likely.
Anyways, here's their quote. The exploit, as outlined, makes use of a vulnerability inherent in the Tegra X1's USB recovery mode, circumventing the lockout operations that would usually protect the chip's crucial boot ROM. By sending a bad length argument to an improperly coded USB control procedure at the right point, the user can force the system to request up to 65,535 bytes per control request. That data easily overflows a crucial direct memory access, or DMA as we all know it. It overflows that buffer in the boot ROM. In turn, it allows data to be copied into the protected application stack and gives the attacker the ability to run arbitrary code.
Where's the quantum pentabulator in this all though?
Hopefully
I don't know
whoever's
what any of
going to
this means.
Ashland University for Fortnite will learn what these terms mean as a side gig.
I hope so, because I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, sure, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Anyway, with the Switch, one of the trickiest parts of the whole exploit is actually getting it to enter recovery mode. This involves shorting out a specific pin on the right Joy-Con controller. But even this part's not particularly difficult, and Fail Overflow has tweeted out pictures of a tiny 3D printed device which does so very easily, while also suggesting that it's also possible to do it just using a piece of wire from the hardware store, just boop.
Yep.
Once it's in recovery mode and you've run the exploit via USB, you're good to go.
What do you do though? I'm very confused about what you would do.
Currently, not a whole lot unless you're a programmer. You do have to and you have to enter recovery mode each time you turn the console on for it to work, which is sure to wear out those pins.
Oh, hey, you did it.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, currently the only widely available software to do this is Fail Overflow's software version, which is, even they claim is risky as hell and has already caused damage to one of their Switches.
Maybe don't do it.
Yeah, I don't know. Buy a fucking Raspberry Pi.
I miss the old Switch where the cool hack was getting that old Nintendo Golf game to play on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this whole thing, it seems like way too much of a pain in the ass for the average Switch user, a child or me. But for the technically inclined and morally gray, this opens up the Switch to a world of homebrewing and piracy. The hackers involved, of course, do not condone doing anything illegal and insist that this was all done in the interest of running homebrew apps on the Switch, but now there's not much stopping others from doing whatever the hell they want. To their credit though, both Fail Overflow, cool name still, and Catherine Temkin, she should come up with a cool hacker name too.
Yeah, come on.
They privately disclosed these vulnerabilities to Nvidia, Nintendo, and various other companies whose hardware has these chips months ago, and potentially got themselves one of those hacker rewards. Who knows?
I did it.
Yay.
Moving on though, even though more and more opportunities are opening up for people pursuing a life in professional esports, the opposite is true for people who want to be professional YouTubers.
I cry every time.
Sorry kids, the door's shut. There's nothing stopping you from making videos, of course, but getting to a point where you're actually earning a living doing it is increasingly difficult to achieve. There was, of course, the adpocalypse, which affected pretty much everyone, but then there was YouTube's updated prerequisites for its partner program, aka how you get paid with ads that run on your channel, which edged out a huge number of small creators from earning any YouTube revenue unless they crossed a certain threshold.
Now, so the latest news reported by Polygon. This is a gaming show now. I missed when you guys did gaming news. Well, we're back, baby.
Be careful what you wish for.
So this was reported by Polygon. It's that the multi-channel networks like Fullscreen, Maker, and Machinima, which were once the way to make that YouTube money, are cutting even more channels than they necessarily have to nowadays, thanks to a new policy from YouTube requiring that MCNs basically take full responsibility for the content that their partners publish. Yeah, so according to Jason Ergo, CEO of analytics site Social Blade,
it in effect forces MCNs to either watch every video uploaded by their partners or at least be reasonably confident none of the videos they are uploading could possibly either in the present or in the future violate or even come close to violating a YouTube guideline terms. The way this is enforced is that if a network has more than 50 abuse events, an abuse event is when a channel gets terminated or loses their monetization privileges, in a 90-day period, they lose the ability to partner any other channels for a period of time. If this 50 and 90 rule is triggered multiple times, the MCN can be revoked.
it's all over, kids. Pack it up. Yeah, basically YouTube now requires MCNs to be able to vouch for all their creators being clean, which is pretty much a physically and financially impossible task, unless it's just a handful of highly profitable channels. I mean, let's be honest here. YouTube can't do this themselves without
They're
AI and
passing
robots.
the buck.
Yeah.
The buck
Has been
continues
passed.
over here.
Yeah. When the adpocalypse happened, although most of the MCNs were dead already or bought out and dismantled, I was like, when the adpocalypse happened, I was like, well, this is good for MCNs, I guess, because MCNs could become like boutique curators where they're like to advertisers, look, you can trust these channels because we represent them. Now it's even more so, but they're putting the entire weight of the
all
responsibility
the
on the MCNs, which is, it's impossible. As Jason Ergo says, networks now have to either drop everyone but their top partners or bring more people on to manually review all content, which just isn't economical in most cases. And I would say it's just impossible at this point. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, they'd be like, all right, we need a monitoring division.
Yeah.
Now it's like, most MCNs are 4 people in a bullpen.
Yeah, let me hire 50 people, pay them a living wage, and also pay them, I guess,
to monitor videos that are making no money anymore.
Yeah. It just doesn't work. YouTube's threshold for their partner program was raised to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in the past 12 months, which is not high, but not low.
Yeah.
It's still a threshold. But now, MCNs are apparently raising their threshold significantly higher to the 100,000 views per month range. And even so, actually enforcing YouTube's new policies and remaining profitable might be impossible. One unnamed manager at an MCN told Polygon, YouTube are making it impossible. YouTube are trying to get rid of MCNs to the point where we can no longer operate. I don't see any MCNs operating within the next 6 months. It feels like YouTube is trying to make us go bankrupt. We're at the stage where it's like the end of an era. At this point, MCNs just need to disband before we're forced to.
Full disclosure, that was me that said that quote.
Yes.
They were like, can we get an executive that works for an MCN on the phone? Oh, there are none. Well, can we get anyone that works at an MCN on the phone? Oh. They were all fired and all the MCNs were dismantled. Well, can we get someone that does a YouTube show for an MCN on the phone? And I was like, yes. It wasn't me. But you caught me on the internet. It really, though, wasn't me.
Yeah.
This person, they might be overselling things just a bit, though. Yes, the days of multi-channel networks having hundreds of thousands of clients is definitely over and not coming back anytime soon. But smaller networks with a small pool of handpicked huge channels is how these companies will survive if they so choose. It certainly makes more sense. And imagine if a big Hollywood talent agency like William Morris Endeavor just accepted any client who'd shot a home movie. It's insanity. This news, however, is yet more proof that the golden age of YouTube, where anyone could make it big, is definitely over. And YouTube is now closer to being more traditional media than it ever has been. It is the Nickelodeon, the Disney Channel of the internet.
Yeah.
And it is becoming simply an incubator for channels like Disney and Nickelodeon to hire talent.
True.
It's to put it in an aggressive term.
Hire me on Bizarredvark. I heard you had some openings.
To put it in an aggressive term, YouTube is now the internet's casting couch.
Anyways, speaking of doom and gloom, let's get our own cyber Nostradamus, Phil Larigo, in here now to crush our souls even more with some more news.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, wow.
Hey, he's right here.
Hey, guys, it is Phil. Anyway, planned obsolescence and the right to repair your own electronics has been a hot topic lately, and Eric Lundgren knows better than anyone, because he's going to jail.
What?
Yeah. So Eric's an e-waste recycler who founded the first electronic hybrid recycling facility in the United States, but also has been providing computer repair shops with Windows installation discs, like CDs and DVDs. So y'all know when you buy a PC with Windows pre-installed, the manufacturer often includes a restore disk in case you need to install a fresh copy of the OS. That's nothing new. Well, Eric noticed that people were not only tossing the discs in the trash because they didn't know what they were, but they also were straight up buying new PCs because their computers were running slow or had a virus or had some other ailment that basically could be fixed by reinstalling Windows. So Eric started collecting these discs and had 28,000 manufactured that he was going to sell to PC repair shops to eliminate waste and say, hey, don't throw out computers, just reinstall Windows on them. So everyone thought this was great. Except Microsoft, because once they heard about this, they claimed that these disks are counterfeit operating systems and each one carried a $299 value. So obviously they took him to court. Eric lost. He appealed. He lost again, and now he's going to prison for 15 months and has to pay a $50,000 fine. So the issue here is that the discs didn't include a Windows license. You know that really long 25-digit key that you get to punch in there? And that's what actually lets you use the Windows that's included on the discs. So you couldn't even really use it even after you installed it. and the $299 value, well, the court was like, how about $25? So the other even huger deal here is that anyone can download Windows 10 for free from Microsoft's site and use it without a license. You just get a little watermark in the bottom right corner. Maybe some of you have it over here now, and it's like, please register this copy of Windows. But I think that's how they got Eric. He made a mistake when he tried to charge for the discs. Yes, he was just charging a quarter for them, which is probably a slightly more than they cost to make, but I think that's how they got him. He tried to profit. But that doesn't make this any less of a big corporate scumball, mean guy move from Microsoft.
Bad guy Microsoft?
Bad guy Microsoft. He won't share his joint or his beer.
I'm just good guy Microsoft.
What else happened? Oh, you guys ever delete something from one of your profiles online and be like, yep, that's deleted forever? Well, hopefully you didn't feel that way about your Match.com profile because the company has been accidentally activating a limited number of old, deactivated, or straight up deleted accounts. It's like limited edition, you know?
Bring it back.
So if you're happily married or worried your spouse might find your old profile that you deleted 7 years ago, you should keep on worrying. Back in a 2009 Computer World report, Joseph Essas, who was eHarmony's then VP of Technology, said, "We have an archiving strategy, but we don't delete you out of our database. We remember who you are."
Oh.
I mean, that was added from me, but I mean, basically, it's still creepy. I mean, Match.com has run 2 lawsuits in the past for similar problems to this, but this is just another reminder that even if you delete something from social media or your embarrassing blog from college that you think we don't know about, or yes, a dating site, it rarely, if ever, is actually deleted. Now finally, why would my stupid ass be standing here if the FCC wasn't somehow still fucking the dead corpse of net neutrality? Let me dig up this dead body for you. So, about 4 months ago, Ajit Pai and his FCC goons voted to repeal net neutrality. Yet today, the rules are, they're technically still in place. That's weird. Hey, Scoob, we got a mystery. Harold Field, telecom lawyer and senior VP of consumer advocacy group Public Knowledge, had this to say. There is absolutely no reason for FCC Chairman Ajit Pai to have stretched out this process so ridiculously long. It's especially puzzling in light of Pai's insistence that he had to rush through repeal of net neutrality over the objections of just about everyone but the ISPs and their cheerleaders because every day, nay, every minute, ISPs suffer under the horrible, crushing burden of Title II, the FCC statute that governs common carriers. So this really pissed old Phil off because the FCC, if you remember when I was bitching about this and John Oliver and everybody else who gave a shit, they sped through the process to kill net neutrality and didn't have the time to read the comments. Remember all those fake comments? They're like, oh man, we don't have time for this. But here we are, months later, rules still in place. So I did some research and dug deep, and there's a lot of legal bullshit that you do not care about at all. But some smart people that aren't me have a theory. The FCC is taking away net neutrality rules at a glacier pace, like one at a time, so telecoms and ISPs can't fuck consumers all on day one, because that would cause a lot of backlash if the ISPs and telecoms started prioritizing traffic and charging for fast lanes and all the other crap that, killing net neutrality would cause. So think of it like this. Telecoms are greedy, evil pig people, allegedly, and Ajit Pai is slowing down how much they can exploit the lack of net neutrality by keeping some rules in place. Or, I think what's another word for that? Throttling. He's throttling them. So in essence, throttling, the same tactic ISPs use to prevent consumers from using all their unlimited data, or playing games at peak time, or streaming high-res video that doesn't directly benefit them, like Netflix. That same tactic is being used by the FCC chairman to keep his greedy little friends in their cages. It's sort of like when you get a can of food, or like 2, and you give them to your dog's just gonna keep on eating, because it doesn't know better. And some of these ISPs are real scumballs, and they're just not gonna stop. And guess what? That's it.
Hey, thanks, Phil. We love you. But listen, we gotta cut corners. We gotta get a bunch of people in here to monitor YouTube videos, so you're gone. One last piece of tech news for this week, though. Scientists have looked 2 billion miles across the solar system at the planet Uranus and confirmed that Uranus smells like farts.
Got him.
Yes, this is serious. Turns out the clouds around Uranus contain a ton of hydrogen sulfide, commonly found in farts and rotten eggs. It's literally a cosmic joke.
Yeah, and Uranus is so big it's got its own orbit.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's great. Anyway, that's our show, guys. By the way, this week's episode was sponsored by Udemy. Udemy is the largest marketplace for online learning. You want to expand your potential? Well, with over 65,000 courses starting at just $11.99, Udemy can help you develop your skills and discover new passions. Students around the world have used Udemy or Udemy, one of those, to get ahead and even switch careers. Visit ude.my/newsday or just download the Udemy or Udemy app to learn anytime, anywhere.
Not sure if they have esports scholarships, but you'll dig around.
They will.
Anyways, if you want more gaming news, head over to see the latest episode of Tugs where God of War sucks.
Guess you'll have to watch and find out.
And also, speaking of gamers, we had Spool on the live show this week, so you can check out that episode as well, where we talk about how Call of Duty not going to do single player campaigns anymore.
That's a bunch of duty.
Womp womp.